There is an old saying, revenge is a dish best served cold. Should India respond? When and how? The Prime Minister was in the war room and he was briefed about various options that India can exercise. With me is General Malhotra. And General, if we know these terrorists came, they crossed the Haji Pir, one set went into Punch, the other set came into Uri at different times, of course. What should India's military option be?
You see, force cannot be allowed to have a will of its own.
The government that point is taken, General. The government has said inflict pain on Pakistan so that they think twice before they attack us again.
You see, again, inflict pain means that you can inflict any amount of pain on Pakistan. One is that you escalate the ladder, start small, but you should be prepared.
Tell me, how will you start small? Let's talk specifics.
Okay. As far as starting small is concerned, one, you could do a special forces operations, get across and liquidate some of these guys and cause immense casualties. But there would be an element of deniability built in it.
Liquidate what? Liquidate who? For example, they've crossed the Haji Pir here. So they've crossed the NC.
Ahead of the Haji Pir, they would have staging areas from which they would get across. And on the other side of the Haji Pir, they would have camps which they collect together before they get into the transit area and get it. Now you decide as to which area do you want to strike, depending on the number of casualties and pain you want to carry. If the casualty figures are over 100, then you have to get across Haji Pir and inflict the pain there. If your aim is just 20, 30, then it will be the staging areas of this side of Haji Pir when they come. So you have to decide as to what element of pain will satisfy the domestic anger that you feel in the people.
Are we doing this? And that brings me to that point. Should this be done just to satisfy domestic anger, or should this be done so that pain is inflicted on the enemy that he thinks 10 times before he launches an attack on you?
See, for that you'll have to do so many things. You'll have to use beyond visual range weapons of the Air Force, where they could cause a damage far beyond Air Force.
Okay, he'll come up to you. You tell me about specific army operations.
You see, as far as army operations are concerned, you could do it not at one place. You could do it at 5 or 10 places, and you have to convince Pakistan that ceasefire line is no more a block in our mind.
Okay.
And therefore, we will cross it at will, and we will do what we feel like.
Okay.
And we don't consider it an element of a boundary which we cannot
What should
cross.
India's first response be, Air Marshal Ahluwalia, in your opinion?
See, I'm very clear in my mind that what do we want to do? What is our objective? And the objective should be
to deter the next attack.
To hurt
the
terrorism activity, the structure in Pakistan. When I relate to that, I would mention JEM, LET and Harkat, etc. But what do you want to do? You want to hit their leadership, you want to hit their habitation, you want to hit their training areas where they actually prepare to come across.
So if you destroy the head of the monster, is the monster destroyed? Should you hit the leadership?
That's right. If you strike the leadership, and the other aspect is that what is the best methodology to do it? And today, air power is actually the most effective and easily available option in real time.
Okay,
it
let's
does not take you time
yes.
to actually react immediately.
Okay.
And the effects are there because we are not interested in covert out here. We want to show that, look, you came here, we want to show you that we can do this to you. So,
should that be an option? Because, you know, Jaidev Ranade, what is our aim? Our aim is to ensure that Pakistan Army, and now Government of India is convinced in its head that Pakistan Army is responsible for these terrorist strikes. They are the ones who are sending Jaish-e-Mohammed or Lashkar-e-Taiba. So do we want to be overt, send in the Air Force, send in the Army, or be covert, take out the leadership and have deniability? What's a better option?
Well, there are two things here. Firstly, let me disagree with you slightly, which I normally don't do. I don't think it's only the Pakistan Army. It's the Pakistani state that we are now dealing with. Therefore, the costs that have to be imposed on Pakistan should be heavy. We are not looking at a punitive retaliation.
Okay.
We are looking at a large kind of message to them. Second, while taking out the top leadership of these religious terrorist organizations is a good idea, rest assured that the moment we eliminate them, there'll be a next crop that will come up.
Okay.
So we will have to have almost continual activity on that front.
Does that lead to escalation? So can we take a look at who the leaders are? You know, the leaders of these terrorist organizations. In Karachi, you have Dawood Ibrahim, most wanted terrorist, and he's been living there for decades. Masood Azhar, he lives in Bahawalpur in South Punjab, runs Jaish-e-Mohammed. He's like a virtual extension of the ISI. You have Hafiz Saeed, Murid Ke is where you have Lashkar-e-Taiba's headquarters, also in Muzaffarabad, along with Sayyid Salahuddin of the Hizbul Mujahideen. They trained this terrorist, Burhan Wani. He belonged to this terrorist organization and they are in Muzaffarabad. So if these are the four fountainheads of terror, does the army take them out? Does the Air Force take them out? Or do we take them out by covert means?
Gaurav, first let's understand what's happening. What's happening to India is there is a sub-conventional war which is taking place. And India, unfortunately, has taken this sub-conventional war as a law and order situation.
It isn't.
And
Sir, we are just not looking for solutions. We are not looking at an academic debate. Tell me, how are we taking them out?
Gaurav, you see, the point which Mr. Ranade made is relevant, which he says that you are looking at a continuum. Any short-term measure might get your anger out, but it doesn't sort the problem out.
But Admiral,
so therefore,
we are looking for solutions. We've had debates and debates and debates. After Mumbai was attacked in 26/11, we had this debate. You know, when Pathankot was attacked, when let's start somewhere. Where do we start? Where do we start?
As I told you earlier on, basically immediate thing which can have lasting impact on Pakistan apart from war is economic measures, diplomatic measures. Recall your High Commissioner.
All that is happening. So diplomatic measures are already happening.
Where is happening?
This war room, diplomatic measures are already happening. This war room is very specific. This war room is talking about military steps. Or are we saying we spend billions of dollars on our armed forces, but when terrorists strike, our armed forces say, oh, how do we react? We don't know what we do.
Not the armed forces. That's wrong.
I'm on specifics.
I'm sorry that is wrong. What is, when this sort of incident take place, it is the political masters who have to say that you can respond. They are the people who are stopping you from
Air Marshal.
You see, we have to be very clear. Striking Pathankot, striking Uri, in my mind, is an act of war.
It is.
And if it is an act of war, who can deny me to be able to strike these terrorist activities across the line of control? And I can do it so easily to send a message that, look, we are going to hit you and we're going to hit you hard in your headquarters, your leadership.
But will it lead to an escalation? Today you hit them, they hit you. You don't have terrorists, so they'll hit perhaps the Western Air Command.
They are not capable to get upwards of the escalation ladder, because the conventional superiority in the combat potential that we have is much more than theirs.
They should be worried about the escalation, not us.
At this point in time, they do not have the capacity to strike us. The question is, if they could come in and hit Pathankot, they could take over these terrorist camps. Should we just sit quiet? No. We have to have an immediate reaction and a long-term reaction. What the Admiral is saying is a long-term reaction.
Yes.
And for that also, it will be a very difficult thing to do, because there are many countries in the world that sponsor terrorism from their territory, but it's very difficult to identify it and point fingers at them, because it's not proven. In the United Nations, nobody is saying that they're terrorists.
Oh, absolutely. So Jaidev Ranade, if we were to talk about these terrorists or those who are funding, arming, training, launching these terrorists, by covert means, are we well within our rights to take out whether it's these terrorists or their handlers, and will it lead to escalation?
Well, I think we are well within our rights. And as far as escalation is concerned, I think even the Pakistanis will think twice, because a number of countries have actually got evidence, for example, in the latest case, of these people coming across. In fact, they warned us that this is going to happen. So it's not that their actions have not gone unnoticed. I think we are well within our rights. And not only that, we should declare open season on these people and go for them.
Declare open season. Now, declare open season general at the line of control. Does that mean our artillery opens up? And pre-2003 Ramzan ceasefire, I am told that our artillery superiority was such that Pakistan sued for peace.
Absolutely.
See,
Absolutely.
even now, our artillery superiority is there. And I have no doubt that not only artillery, everything will open up on them. But when does it open up, and do we only cause destruction and sort of say, we claim this has happened?
No, but General, that's my point to you. The moment a post, let's say we are convinced that these terrorists came from A post or B post or C post, we pulverize that post. We punish the Pakistanis. Why can't we do that?
We claim we pulverize. Pakistani says nothing happened. We are all right. So it doesn't get you anywhere. You must understand what are we saying. All of us are saying that for an asymmetric, sub-conventional war which is being inflicted on us, we will respond by conventional means. Is that the right way to respond?
What is the right way to respond?
To launch a similar asymmetric, sub-conventional capability at them.
What does that mean?
We have enough special forces over here, special forces with our intelligence organizations, special forces within the army, special forces of the navy,
On this
special
map,
forces
on this map, explain to me, General, what will our special forces do?
This map will not be able to tell you what our forces will do, but all I can tell you is this is an area from here to here that you can do what you want with your special forces and get away with it.
No, don't destroy
considering
his
the terrain.
terrorist training camps, destroy his army battalions, do what? Destroy bridges,
cause destruction of infrastructure, cause destruction of men, cause destruction of material, and cause so much of fear and
But
panic.
why use special forces? Why not use Air Force?
Be very clear. What is your objective? Is
Yes.
your objective the Pakistani army or the deep state? That means the terrorists, because otherwise the escalation ladder will go up. If you are going to strike the Pakistani army, rest assured there will be a retaliation.
Okay.
But if you go for terrorist attacks against the terrorism activities that are taking place across the border, then they do not have a right.
No, but what does attacking terrorists mean? Because the moment, let's say you hit them at a
camps.
training camp,
You see, not training
but there'll
camps.
be a couple of tents there,
I am talking about the headquarters.
Murid ke, but there'll be a
Murid ke.
school, a hospital, a madrasa.
No, that is the whole point. Let me just give you this point, 30 seconds. Basically, what do we need? We've got precision weapons. We've got very sophisticated platforms. We can hit. But what do we need in the loop? What we need in the loop is what these guys should have been doing. That is hard intelligence on the ground, giving us absolute coverage of what is happening at what time. More importantly, we need ISR. And when I say ISR, that's intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance. So that first I know that this is activity taking place at this area. Then I carry out surveillance 24/7 into 365.
Okay.
So I need strategic reconnaissance capability.
Which you have.
Which is not there at this point in time.
Okay.
I've got satellite reconnaissance.
Yes.
I have got tactical reconnaissance. But what is lacking is this. Now, the question is, strategic means what? Strategic means, go beyond 100 kilometers, 300 kilometers. But I can still use some sort of tactical reconnaissance through UAVs for areas which are close, within 100 kilometers, and then carry out precision strikes on them.
What does the Navy do? In this time, after a terror attack, you cannot blockade Karachi. So what does the Navy do?
Navy has a minimal role. That's why I was telling you that what are the other things which the government can do. And you say that it is done. It's not done. It's your imagination is done. The High Commissioner is still in Pakistan. We have not declared reduction in the forces. We have not touched MFN. We have carried out no economic measures which will create problems. As a matter of fact, we have agreed with European Union giving specific measures to Pakistan at the cost of our own.
The Navy could have a role in case there's an economic blockade. The Navy could well have a role to play. So let's talk about what the Navy can do, Admiral.
No, as
the government is, we'll talk about
the
higher
Navy
direction.
the Navy can effectively blockade, meet the international regulations that you should have the capability of maintaining it. Navy is fully capable of that. The government has to decide.
Okay.
That other thing which can be done is this covert operations. Navy people could do, but as I said, covert operations help the Pakistani army, tell the Pakistani people that India is out to disintegrate.
Why should we care what Pakistan army tells its people? They are killing us every other day. We need to move into the 21st
Look,
century.
you have to care for the status of the Pakistani army among the Pakistani people. If you attack the Pakistan, why are you afraid
Sir,
of
that's
taking
long term.
over?
What are immediate short-term solutions? Jaidev Ranade, specifics in terms of what the security forces would be advising Prime Minister Modi.
Well, I'm sure they would have discussed a menu of options, but I don't think they're recommending hot pursuit or going after them right away. And I think the best option, the way I look at it, when I said open season, I meant open season on the terrorist leaders and their headquarters, not across the border. And that is something that will take time, but it's not going to take much time. It will take a few months at the most. But once we do get our act together, I think we will have them really under pressure.
You know, with someone like Ajit Doval, one would think it should have been, you know, it should have been open season when the attack on the Indian mission in Herat took place, when the attack on Indian mission in Jalalabad took place, when we were hit in Pathankot after the Prime Minister's big visit to Lahore. So, you know, Pakistan has been following one systematic policy.
Gaurav,
we should have one systematic policy.
Pakistan is not going to change because there are three reasons why you have a terrorists being sponsored by a state. Number one, they have to have strategic reasons, and they have strategic reasons. They do not have, number two, ideological reasons, and they do not have, number three, political reasons. So it is a strategic requirement of Pakistan to continue with terrorist subversive activities in India. So we have to address that issue. And whatever you do, whether you strike or you don't strike, one is that you're addressing the public in our country. Number two, you're indicating to them that it will be at a cost. But very importantly, as far as deterrence is concerned, you have to protect your own.
Absolutely.
If your defenses are not in place,
that's the most important aspect.
Gaurav, we have
that's
a
the
major
first
problem.
thing.
As an army general, how will you ensure that terrorists don't come the next time, kill your civilians, and equally bad, kill your soldiers in sleep?
So deterrence means you have to defend yourself first.
When we talk of terrorism, terrorism is an ideology. Terrorism is a strategy. Terrorism is not individual. So what we are saying at the moment is we are killing a few individuals and sort of saying terrorism will stop.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's
terrorism
exactly. Don't be satisfied killing a few individuals. So what is the bigger game plan?
We have to protect ourselves. To start with, we have to protect ourselves.
Yes.
Deterrence. What is deterrence?
Gaurav, if I may just come in, while protection of our own units, etc., is important, I think we have to put Pakistan under sustained long-term pressure.
Exactly.
And that is the kind of fractious population they have, the differences they have between the Baluchis, the Sindhis, the
Why aren't we
Bashtus,
using that?
We should.
The Sufis?
We should mount that up. And I think the first shot has already been fired by our Prime Minister, and we will probably see that now getting inflamed.
Yes. Should India stop recognizing the Durand line? Completely say we don't recognize the Durand line. Will that have an impact?
We could do all that. Point is, just saying it is not enough. After having said it, be able to say that we don't recognize it. What does that mean? That your special forces or something should be able to launch operations of a special kind which will give you a strategic impact. Which doesn't mean kill 10. Means create an element of fear of every Fauji walking on the other side. I don't know where I'm going to get hurt. I don't know where I'm going to get killed. I don't know what culvert will get destroyed while the transport is going. I don't know what bomb will blast while the convoy is going.
How are you going to do that?
That's the kind of thing that special forces have a way of doing it.
Really?
Let me guess, sir. Let me give you an example how Pakistan would have launched all this.
No, I don't want to know how Pakistan wants to do it. I want to know what you intend to do, what India intends to do.
We have to do the same thing. We have to do the same thing. And how you will know it, because conventional thought will always tell you it can't be done, you laugh. But it's an unconventional mind, and that's where we lack, where we can actually give them a lesson. What they would have decided is Burhan Wani is better dead than alive. So they ensured that Indian forces got the information of Burhan Wani, he got liquidated, and this whole turmoil started, because of which infiltration came. We have to similarly do this. It's not difficult. You have to ensure that you create potential on the other side with guys who are ready to see you, and they assure you that they are ready to help, and you provide help to them. It's a matter of months that you can create the same fear as you created there.
Okay, Admiral, in your opinion, when this combined national effort, the diplomatic effort, the economic effort, security forces very aggressive at the line of control, the Air Force very aggressive, and covert means. Will Pakistan then get the message? Do we have the stomach for this, or will peaceniks get us down?
One thing is there, that Pakistan will be brought to its knees because its economy is in shambles as it is. And if we put pressure on economic values, on diplomacy, and take the other measures like the Prime Minister has said about Balochistan, there are other fault lines in Pakistan.
Yes.
Openly, not covertly, openly we say that we will help. The Sindhis have been asking us for help, based in
Shias.
Washington. That Sufis, there are so many fault lines.
Delegates.
Yes.
We can, and is the long-term cost which Pakistan cannot bear.
Okay.
See,
That is the
there
difference
are a lot of
between us.
issues. And you see, you have to take an overview.
Yeah.
Do you want Pakistan to be an unstable country? I don't think so, because we'll have major problems if you try to break up Pakistan into different elements, if at all it happens.
No, but
it's not
you know,
likely to happen.
so,
but
yeah,
if you
a
really
major
ruin
strategic
them,
decision
just one
should
second.
be-
If you want to ruin them economically, the overflow is going to be towards India, because you don't want an unstable Pakistan.
I don't even want to be killed every other day.
Yeah,
I am
so-
sick and tired of Pakistanis killing us. Sick and tired.
So there is, because for them it's a strategic requirement. They are not going to stop.
So how do you make them stop?
Number one.
Jaidev Ranade inflict costs on Pakistan that Raheel Sharif thinks 10 times before he sends in terrorists
This
into
will be
India.
the only way. If you have covert operations in their key cities where there is mayhem, shall I say, when you get the movements going in Balochistan, Sindh and the tribal areas, that will put them under tremendous pressure. And I think that is the way that we should look for. Short-term measures where we hit back to assuage our population is fine. But this is the real
Medium
pressure
term,
that
long
we have to
term.
do.
The larger option.
And frankly, let me just make one point where I would say that it's a point for a larger debate.
Yes.
Whether a stable and united Pakistan is our interest, is it in our interest or not? I think that is something for another discussion.
Sure, you know,
There are
because
questions on
often experts say, I think it's MJ Akbar who once written that a jelly state Pakistan suits India best, not very strong but not disintegrating.
You see, the best thing, which a strategic decision and option for India, is to create the second front for Pakistan. Unfortunately, that second front that he had in Afghanistan, he's managed to stabilize it.
On
We
the contrary,
have to create.
on the contrary, isn't Afghanistan giving them hell?
exactly.
Not just in the UN. You heard what their vice president
See,
said.
diplomatic help, talking about it, etc., is different. But actually confronting the Pakistan army on its front will be enough to put the Pakistanis on their knees.
Give weapons to Afghanistan. Afghanistan
I
army.
just want to make one point. For the last 70 years, we have not had a Pakistan or
A policy to deal with
policy
Pakistan.
for dealing with Pakistan. All things will follow when we have a policy. That is the most important thing to have,
Air
which
Marshal,
we
do you
still
see
don't.
signs of an emerging Pakistan policy, especially after we've been stabbed twice, first in Pathankot and now in Uri?
I'm crying for it. Since IC 814.
Yes.
We have to have in place
Actually,
a
Kargil-
strategy.
yes.
Kargil. Look at
Kargil.
Kargil. We have to have a strategy in place that what is going to be a response for this kind of activity.
So in Kargil, and since you were flying your Mirages in Kargil, I remember in Kargil, should we have crossed the LC and bombed his
Yes,
bases?
sir, we should have, because it was the blackmail, the nuclear blackmail that prevented a political decision to cross the LOC. And let me just tell you that it was very difficult, because you have these valleys which are running
Yes.
northeast, southeast, northwest.
So if you were destroying his bases in Kargil war, the war would have ended faster and our casualties would have been
Of
lesser.
course, we should have gone right up to Gulteri. We
Yes.
should have gone to Skardu. We should have been monitoring. You see, if we had surveillance, we would have seen, and I'm repeating this for the last, I don't know how many years, that we must have good ISR capability. If we had that, we would have known that these guys are going to do something like this, because we would have monitored their activities.
But would this lead to escalation, and can we contain that escalation if we are bombing Gultari, if we are bombing Skardu, if we are going into Gilgit-Baltistan, or if we are going to Muzaffarabad?
Simple answer. Basically, the question was, when we said, firstly we said air power should not be used. So
that is a defeatist mentality.
that was a defeatist mentality, but I do not blame the political leadership. I blame the military leadership for giving the right kind of advice to the political leadership. 7th, 8th of May 99
Yes.
till 26th of May 99, we did not use air power.
Yes.
We must have lost a tremendous amount of people during that period of time.
Okay.
And what was the reason? The reason was once again the nuclear blackmail from Pakistan, and the political leadership got cowed down.
You've been in the national security apparatus. Tell me, General, if we bomb Skardu, if we bomb Gultari, if we bomb terrorist training camps in Muzaffarabad, will it lead to an escalation that will reach a nuclear threshold?
I'm saying escalation will be damned. So what if it reaches escalation?
No,
We are
but
as prepared
that's
as
scary.
Pakistan.
Indians get scared, the world will get
Why
scared.
should you get scared? Why should
Nobody
you get
wants
scared?
a nuclear attack in this neighborhood.
There is no way that guy is just bluffing you, and we're getting we're feeling that what he's saying is right. He's irrational, and we are the only irrational beings in the world. It is not so. I mean, today, if that guy uses a nuclear bomb, Pakistan will no longer exist. India will still exist. So, I mean, we will suffer damage.
this argument scares the West.
You have used the word at least half a dozen and more times, escalation.
Yes.
Why are you afraid of escalation? In practice, it is the smaller power which is afraid of escalation, not the bigger power.
Okay.
It's a unique case. India with 4 times the military strength. And
Good point you're making there.
And we are worried about, and you are worried about escalation because you use that word so many
Well,
times.
escalation as far as conventional and sub-conventional warfare is concerned is no consequence. The only reason why we are stepping back a bit is because of nuclear blackmail and nuclear escalation. Because they've gone and announced, although they don't have the capability, I don't think they'll ever have the capability for tactical, or shall we say, battlefield nukes.
Okay.
Right? So it is a question of that aspect of it which we have to take care of, and we have to put it into our planning.
Okay.
And do what we have to.
But a response has to be given to Pakistan.
Yes.
Overt, covert, no response is not an option.
Yes.
I think all of them put together.
All of them put together.
Why
Jaydev
only
Ranade.
covert?
Closing comments.
Why
Well,
only
I would say the long-term one, where we will get a lot of success and put Pakistan under real pressure, are the covert measures that I spelled out.
Okay. Okay, we leave it at that. I would like to thank all of you for being a part of this war game. There are several permutations and combinations to be tried together, separately, in a staged manner. The government has access to all this information. One message is clear from what sources tell India today, that Pakistan will feel the pain, but revenge is a dish that's best served cold. Many thanks for being a part of this debate.